Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good fright. This is Felicity Was Here. Welcome back to Felicity Was Here. I'm Heather.
I'm Melissa.
And I'm Dr. Joe.
And today we're discussing Felicity, Season 3, Episode 11, and to all a good night. Please like and subscribe wherever you're listening, leave us a review, and if you want to support the pod further, head over to buymeacoffee.com/FelicityWasHere. Hello, ladies. Mid-season finale.
Ooh, I love a Christmas episode, even though it didn't really feel that Christmassy.
I mean, they had the Christmas tree stuff.
Eh.
That was like the Christmas spirit of the episode. I mean, we didn't get a Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I felt like it came out of nowhere. I was like, hold up.
Yeah.
Why are we here right now?
Yeah.
was
We had
confused.
finals last week, and then it's like, oh, it's Christmas party. Well,
Mhm.
okay. But it was Thanksgiving-ish because they brought Barbara back. So we got, the parents coming to town
Oh,
last
good.
season.
True.
And drama and chaos around her and her fam. So, yeah, it was Thanksgiving-esque. Not quite as heartfelt, but one particular scene is
Mhm.
very... Yes, we will discuss. Well, let's start with some listener mail. We've got an email from Jamie. She says, I wanted to share with you some conflicting feelings I have about Ben's characterization in the last episode, which is Let's Get It On. So we all know Ben is a deeply empathetic person who likes to help others. We saw it with Julie when he found out about her rape, and we even saw it last season with Noel when he found out about Ruby's pregnancy. So in that sense, I buy him wanting to help Molly, although I wish he was more focused on helping himself. However, by helping Molly, he is essentially inviting James, this dangerous character who is not only on crack but also has a gun, into his and Felicity's lives, which is also putting them in danger. I mean, that scene where James walks into the apartment, he could have ended up hurting someone, including Felicity. Shouldn't Ben be concerned about Felicity's safety? And he honestly does not appear to be. He only seems concerned with helping Molly and ensuring her safety. And personally, I am having a hard time reconciling that. Again, I do think it's in character for Ben to want to help Molly, but I also believe he would not want to jeopardize Felicity's safety. Curious to hear what you think. Also, one last comment. That scene where Felicity praises Ben for keeping his cool when James barged in didn't really feel earned to me, since we really haven't seen Ben actually doing any work on his anger. It's like he's just magically cured. I think the show missed an opportunity for a really great Ben storyline, all for the Molly and James show. Thanks again for taking the time to read my comments. So I feel like we started to touch on this last week, but maybe not quite this in depth. But yeah, what do you all think? Like, is Ben too obsessed with helping Molly and putting everyone else in danger?
Yeah, we talked about it last week. It's like his empathetic self coming out. Like, he knows what she's going through and he wants to help her. But the gun stuff, yeah, that's kind of like going over the edge for me. Like the fact that they didn't even contact the police or didn't even let the university know. Because, like, these apartments that they're in are the university apartments, right? This is not.
They keep saying student apartments, so yeah, it sounds like it.
So it's like, you would think they would let at least the university know that someone on their campus had a gun, like, especially after, all the events of the last, like, couple decades with school shootings and whatever. It just seemed like, if that were me, if I were Felicity, I would not feel safe living in that apartment anymore. Like, I would not want to stay there.
Yeah.
Well, in 2002-ish or whatever the fuck.
2000.
We hadn't had 2 decades of gun shootings at that time. We had like one really big one by then, right? So it wasn't the thing that it is now. So
I think we had more than just
but like
one.
Columbine was like a really
Columbine,
really big...
we were like in elementary school, right?
I was in high school. So it was like, I guess I'm looking at it a little bit differently. Like it wasn't like the way it is now.
Right.
So
not like 300 a year.
Yeah.
But I don't think that I do think that's a good point about getting the police involved, because when I was watching this episode, I'm like, they never called the police or anything. Like when the fire marshal comes up, I'm like, police could have intervened too. So I did think that was a little bit something, but I don't think it's that Ben doesn't care that he's putting people in danger. I don't think it's inside his awareness for him to care about or not care about. I don't think he's even considering that, because he's a 20-year-old male with an undeveloped brain. So, and he's also a fictional character. So There's that too. I don't think that he's intentionally disregarding harm that he's, potentially putting people into. I don't think he would do that. I think it just didn't even cross his mind because it doesn't cross a lot of adults' minds either. Like, I think we talked about it a little bit. Like, people are like, girl, just leave him kind of attitude when there's situations like this, and they don't consider all the many, 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 many factors that need to be considered. Even if they're not sharing a home or children and all the things, like, there's still a lot that goes into it. So if actual adults in 2026 don't comprehend DV danger stuff, I don't expect a 20-year-old from the year 2000 to comprehend that either and to take all those things into consideration. So I think he's just a knucklehead and he doesn't know any better. I don't think it's that he doesn't care. He's just being a dum-dum, not a I don't care.
Yeah, I would agree. I didn't take it as like, I'm going to do all this. I don't care about like, to me, it's actually he's doing it because he wants to protect Felicity and that, like, it's Felicity lives there. She doesn't really have a choice, like she lives there. And so I feel like he's just kind of stepping up, trying to help and do what he can do to make it safer for them. Now, is it misguided or, I mean, even last time I was saying, like, that's the reason I was asking what other resources do they even have? Because, I don't even know if I would know what to do. I mean, you hear so many stories of women calling the cops because they feel unsafe. They've got some dude like scoping out their apartment or following them home from the gym or whatever. And they call the cops and they're like, well, we can't really do anything until they assault you.
Exactly.
Like until there's violence. So that's why it's like, I don't even know what else there is they can do in this situation. Like besides her try and break it off with him. It sounds like maybe she could go to some kind of shelter where they would stop people from coming in the building and whatnot. But I mean, in an ideal world, would Ben do that too? But also, like, Felicity has agency. She can do something. Like, she can call, like you said, like the dorm. Is there a manager in the building, like a front desk? Like in my my actual dorm, like people couldn't just walk in and go up. Like you had to show ID to get into the building and go up on the floors or have a key. Stuff. So I don't think it's just on Ben. Like, I think it's silly that we're expected to believe that he can, just the way it was framed, it almost like, oh, well, Ben's now, watching over Molly while she sleeps and all that. I'm like, that seems crazy that like a 20-year-old guy is responsible for this. But I'm not really sure what other options there are. Like, he's trying to take her to the clinic. He was trying to get her to break up with him, have her move back into the apartment and out of the apartment or hotel with James. So I don't see it as he doesn't care. I just I'm not sure what else they can do.
He's doing the best with what he's got, which is very little, because
and he thinks he's protecting her. Like he doesn't.
Right, exactly. He doesn't think it's causing harm. He thinks it's promoting safety. So that's he doesn't know any better because a lot of people
ultimately, I don't blame Ben. Like Ben's not inviting James into the building. Like it's not Ben's fault that James is coming. Like Molly lives there. I'm not saying it's her fault either. Like she is, a victim survivor. But like, I don't think Ben's like attracting it. Like, oh, you want to do something about it, James? Come here and yell at me and say that's my face.
That's my
like
face.
He's not. Yeah, he's not like goading him to come over.
Exactly.
So, and then I think we did chat a little last time about Ben's growth feeling maybe a little bit unearned. And Dr. Joe, you mentioned that like, it doesn't always happen where you see it. It's it's not a straight line. It can be one day's really good or you're seeing it happen like your fingernails growing, right? So I really like the way you explained that, and that helped me see it too. Like, I know you always say if we didn't see it on screen, it didn't happen. But like, obviously he's going to these meetings. He's listening to other people. Some stuff can rub off.
Something from the meeting to Molly. He's like, it's like they say in group, like, so he is hearing stuff and learning it, even if like he's not getting individual therapy or individual anger management, which I still don't think he needs. But he's obviously learning something because he's trying to apply what he's learned. It's just this is a really fucked up situation. So even under the best circumstances, it's probably going to go sideways because he can only control himself. He can't control what James is going to do or Molly or anybody.
But I do agree. I wish I saw a little bit more of like Ben's individual growth with his own stuff with his dad. Like we're not talking much about the dad anymore. So I do wish we saw a little bit more. But it doesn't always happen. My sister and I were chatting because she caught up on a bunch of our episodes. Since it's not on Hulu anymore, she had to borrow my DVDs. Yeah, she was even saying, like, where's Dr. Pavone? Like, this is something maybe they could go to Dr. Pavone for. So I don't know why, Amy Aquino wasn't in more episodes. She's like here or there, like, oh, I've got you in this art show, Felicity, but not in here for any of the hard stuff again. So I think this would be a nice situation for Dr. Pavone, too. I'm sure even if she's not their official counselor anymore, she would help if she could. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bummer. Well, thank you, Jamie, again for your comments. Everyone, keep them coming. FelicityWasHerePod@gmail.com. All right, so last time, since we've been chatting about it, let's do a quick recap. With the help of Ben and Felicity, Molly tried to leave James after he pulled a gun on her, but ended up reconciling with him. Noel and Felicity pitched Loser Pet Store to Icebox during finals, and Elena and Tracy slept together after deciding to be friends. Well, this episode is written by Jennifer Levin and Josh Rhimes, and directed by Stephen Gyllenhaal. Yes, the father
Wow.
of Jake and Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Cool.
Which is a fun fact. So, like, how many Gyllenhaals are there? So, who knew? I didn't know that they were Nepo babies, but apparently
yeah.
they are. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I mean, I knew they were brother and sister, but I didn't know
Yeah.
they came from film family. Or,
Oh, yeah.
Hollywood. So this episode originally aired December 13th in the year 2000, and it is the mid-season finale. But after this episode, the show went on a 4-month hiatus and didn't return until April of 2001. So all the
Wow.
WB viewers were watching in real time had to sit with that cliffhanger until spring. Like, that's almost as bad as waiting a whole summer to find
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
who she picked.
That's longer
Like,
than
4
a summer.
months. Yeah, like, that's crazy.
That's a long time. Yeah. 4 months.
Yeah.
Wow. That's nuts.
So doing a little recon on this, the WB was experimenting with a split season format this year, where instead of spreading episodes across the whole season, which get interrupted by reruns, they'd air a concentrated block of all new episodes in the fall, go dark for a few months, and then come back with another clean run in the spring. So the idea was that a rerun-free block built better momentum than a season constantly stop and starting with reruns. The trade-off was that you had this dead stretch in the middle, and in Felicity's case, they filled it by airing another show, Jack and Jill, in the same Wednesday time slot, while Felicity was on hiatus. So yeah, it was a whole scheduling thing. They were testing it out. You know, some people might say, yeah, that's great. You get a whole block of episodes. But then some people say, well, 4 months after a cliffhanger like that, like maybe I forgot the show even existed. So, you know, jury was out on whether or not that was a successful thing. But I do feel like most TV shows, like network shows, do have like a mid-season finale now. So I wonder if that just kind of became a trend before the streaming era where, now you only get 8 episodes or 9 episodes a season anyway. But yeah, for the ones that have, 20 or so episode run for each season, I feel like usually around the holidays there is a break and there is kind of a mid-season cliffhanger. So, but yeah, so we, us streamers, we don't have to wait 4 months. But back in the year 2000, we were waiting. It was a whole different experience.
Terrible times to be in.
Yeah. It's kind of depressing because, like, I feel like January, February, March are, like, the worst months of the year because there's just nothing to do and you can't even watch
Chicago?
new
Yeah.
episodes of your show.
What a nightmare.
Sad.
You had to, like, start a new show, and I think Jack and Jill got canceled after
Yeah.
one season, so they're like, what was the point of that? All right, well, the episode opens at the dorm apartment. The ladies are planning a Christmas party, and Molly is back. She did eventually leave James, and she's back in rehab, which is great. And Felicity thinks that that's worth celebrating, but for obvious reasons, Molly is not feeling very festive. But Felicity wants to celebrate surviving finals, pitching Loser Pet Store. Her mom's coming soon, and then her and Ben are going to Florida for Christmas break. And yeah, she's ready to just let loose and have some fun. But James keeps calling. He rings, Felicity picks up, tells him Molly isn't there. He doesn't believe her. So Felicity kind of starts arguing, going back and forth with James on the phone, but then Ben takes the phone, tells James to stop calling. Apparently James gets aggressive, and eventually Ben hangs up on him, of course, calls him a dick and a crackhead, and says that if James didn't have a gun, that would have been a completely different conversation. And that is the exact moment when Barbara Porter, now Hunter, walks in the door, escorted by Meghan, who's visibly delighted by the chaos. Felicity's parents just always have the best timing when they come and visit their daughter. She's either macking on someone or they're talking about crackheads. Then going to Dean and DeLuca, Noel tells Felicity the good news. Icebox wants them to write the actual first episode of Loser Pet Store, so it is happening. Felicity's so excited, but Noel is also not fully feeling it, not feeling very festive this year. He's sad that he's single at Christmas when everyone else has girlfriends and boyfriends. And Natalie, apparently, is already seeing someone else. And Felicity brings up a great question. Isn't Noel supposed to be getting an annulment? We're all shrugging. What's going on there? He says that, yeah, Natalie is in Germany and she's moved on with Ludwig, and that's it. So we don't really know what's going on with Noel. I really don't understand the Natalie storyline still. When we last left off, they were like, oh yeah, we can still be together, but the only way I'll keep dating you is if we get that divorce or annulment. And they're like, okay, great. And they kiss, and then she goes to Oktoberfest. I'm like, so wait, are they getting a divorce or annulment? Are they dating? But now she's dating someone else. Noel was going after Tyra Banks. I'm just like, what is happening? I don't understand it. It's very inconsistent.
I feel like this was the last time she was mentioned, maybe, or am I forgetting?
Well,
They were like, we better just
the
throw
money-
this in.
the money comes in later because he does stay married and he gets the
Well,
Natalie check, the
okay.
inheritance money.
Got
The
it.
Natalie check.
But like, as far as them dating, no, I don't
Yeah.
know. But like, he must get a divorce. He must get a divorce eventually. So yeah, no, I don't know. I don't really know what's going on with Natalie. I think the season is there's a lot of weird dramatic stuff, but I think they've really bungled Noel's storylines and character. Like,
so much.
he's all over the place. So Felicity mentions that Barbara's in town and she's worried that her mom doesn't like Ben. But I don't know. Maybe it's just a feeling she has. You know, it could just be her. So Noel is then invited to the apartment Christmas party, and he jokes maybe he'll bring Ludwig to the party as his date. Thoughts?
I'm just kind of over Noel being like,
Yeah.
like we've talked about it
he's the
before.
turtle, so
Yeah.
he is a loser this season.
Yeah, it's just very messy with him, and not in an interesting way. Stuff is just dragging out in a way that's not even dramatic. Like, it's not even cinematic or dramatic and interesting. So it's like, why are you doing this? What are you doing there, bud?
It's just like, ugh, okay.
Yeah.
So then we go to the loft where Sean and Richard pitch Ben their new business scheme. They are buying Christmas trees wholesale, tripling the price to sell them right before the holiday. But Ben says he has plans with Felicity and Barbara, so he can't help them go get all these Christmas trees. But Sean plays his trump card. He is lending Ben his uncle's car for his Florida trip with Felicity. You know, he owes him this, so Ben gives in. But he only has 3 hours because then he's got to meet at the theater for a play with Felicity and Barbara. We know he's not gonna be on time. And I also think, like, for trees, I don't know. It's like, to me, I feel like my girlfriend and her mom would be more important, but I don't know. I guess Sean twisted his arm.
Yeah, I think he did. That was not cool. Not a cool, like, leverage to put on him like that power dynamic kind of sucks. That's not a good friend. Like, yes, he's his landlord, but he's also supposed to be a friend. And like, do you speaking of friends, like, make Noel do it. Like, make
I was
another
just gonna say,
dude,
Noel's a roommate. He can help.
or Tracy, like any
Tracy,
other dude that we've ever made eye contact with on the show could help them. Like, it doesn't have to be Ben, but again, you gotta make Ben look like a dick.
Yeah. I just don't like, it's like, oh, well, I'm lending you my car. It's like, well, don't lend it to me if you're going to hold it over me.
Yeah, if it's
like,
not-
that's
yeah,
not a
it's
genuine
conditional.
favor. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not a genuine favor then. Like, don't do something for people just expecting something in return. I don't like that.
Yeah.
So,
No, yeah, that's a dick move, so that's not
Yeah.
cool.
but
And
I know conflict, the point of this episode is to make Ben look bad in front of Barbara. So I get it.
mission accomplished.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me go to Tracy and Elena, who have hit a bump post-sex. So Tracy says that, yeah, the experience was good, but he's mourning the whole situation.
Not
That's
what you want
not
to hear.
what you want to.
Yikes! Gulp, double gulp.
I don't know, was it? It wasn't, he was like, yeah, I got caught up in the moment. Like, he didn't, it was like, I'm mourning.
Like, yeah, you do look depressed, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you need, like, a black veil and stuff and cover the fucking mirrors and everything.
Like,
do all the things.
keep praying. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
That was ouch.
I felt very bad for Elena. Like, she didn't do anything. You came to my apartment.
He wasn't mourning during it, I'm sure.
No. But Tracy has gotten accepted into a program providing medical care and setting up clinics in Africa. He leaves in 3 weeks for the next semester. He applied when he wasn't even talking to Elena, but Elena's hearing this for the first time. So him deciding whether or not to go to Africa, and now they just had sex, all of this, it complicates everything that they're trying to figure out.
Whoops.
Well, then the Christmas tree situation gets out of hand. Sean, Ben, and Richard go to pick up the trees, and there are significantly more than they expected. Sean says they'll need a bigger boat, and it's just gonna take a lot of work. So now we're seeing it's gonna be more than 3 hours probably. Meanwhile, Felicity and Barbara are waiting at the theater for Ben, and Barbara is excited for Felicity to come home for break. She's like booked this whole spa thing for them, but Felicity reminds her / tells her that she's going to Florida with Ben for Christmas. Then we jump to the student apartment where Molly's home alone decorating for the party, and James calls. She answers. He says he has caller ID, so he knows that she called him recently. And she's like, look, I'm sorry if that confused you. It was, moment of weakness. I'm in rehab now. I can't see you anymore. He's like, I know you want to see me. She says she can't, and she hangs up the phone. She does look very about getting off the phone and hanging up, like, should I not? She looked tortured when hanging up. But I was proud that she hung up.
She sounded strong in her voice about it, at least.
Yes.
She was definitely firmer.
She needs to get caller ID. The heck? Every time the phone rings, she answers
like,
it's going to be him.
Hello?
What are you doing?
Yeah, I was thinking, too, like, could they block his number or something? Just the other resources, like we were
I think he
talking
was on a
about.
payphone, though.
He may have been, yeah. But
Yeah.
I don't know, like, maybe just have a couple known numbers scroll through or something. I don't know, like, even temporarily just do something so he doesn't have even phone access. I don't know.
If I were, I probably just wouldn't even answer the phone.
Yeah.
If I'm home by myself, I probably wouldn't
I
answer.
was thinking that too, but then I was like, well, like that kind of sucks to like not be able to answer the phone in your own home, but I
Yes.
wouldn't if I was her. I still wouldn't do that. Or like, I don't know.
Like, eventually
change
you're
your
gonna have
fucking
to,
phone
but-
number.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that, it's not like they've had that home for 20 years and same phone number this whole time. Like, you can change your number. It's not that big of a deal.
Or again, alert student housing. I have an issue. Like, I need to change my number. Yeah. Give me caller ID. I don't know.
Yeah, something.
But the drama, we need the drama. So
Yeah.
Ben rushes then to leave for the play with Felicity and Barbara. They finally got all the trees packed up into multiple trucks, but the truck that Ben has will not start. So he rushes to the theater, gets there late. He apologizes profusely. They're like, okay, it's fine. You're here now. Let's go. You got the tickets, right? He said, oh, no, I don't. I'm so sorry. So they're disappointed, but Felicity says, why don't we just go to the restaurant? Let's have dinner. She's trying to salvage it, right? Barbara is like, you know what? I've got a headache. I'm just going to go back to the hotel. So Felicity says, oh, well, let's all go. We can order room service and watch a movie. It'll be fun. But Ben says, you know what, Felicity, just you two go. Have some really nice alone time. Barbara's like, are you sure you don't want to come? He's like, yeah. You guys go. And Barbara, when leaving, snips, well, we'll see you tomorrow, I'm sure.
Bitch. The hell.
That
So
was very,
mean. She's
very
bitchy.
salty.
Yeah, and I thought he handled that as gracefully as he possibly could. Like, you two go. Like, he was like
Yeah.
trying to give them their time, and I thought that was beautifully handled by him.
Yes.
I'm like, why are you such a turd? Jeez, she really pisses me off sometimes,
Mhm.
man.
Yep. That was sad to see because he was so gracious about it. Or just like handled it as well as one could. He was
Yeah,
like
and I'm like,
apologized profusely and tried to, they were all trying to salvage it, and Barbara was just
Right.
like, I have a headache, I'm gonna go
she's
home.
being a brat. Also, why did they trust Ben to have the tickets? And I'm like, how did they even get in there? I was like, I assumed that they, like just like seeing people. Usually, like there's like a box office thing at the front before you even walk into a building like that, where you have to present your tickets. So I'm like, how is this even a thing?
Yeah.
So that was, again, some more complex stuff. But I was like, Really? You trusted Ben with all of your tickets, not just his, like you all didn't have your stuff already. Come on. Like
Will call
who is
exists.
buying that? Yeah, come on. It's like, that's on you. That was dumb.
So then while in the cab, Barbara asks Felicity if Ben gets into a lot of fights. Apparently they ran into a friend of Ben's who mentioned something. She's like, oh yeah, Sean's nose now, he's fine. She was like, no, not Sean. Oh, it must have been something else. Well, now, yeah, it's Randy, obviously. But then, yeah, Felicity now has just talked about multiple fights that Ben has been in. So Barbara's like, oh, does he get in many fights often? But Felicity's like, no, just the two things. So then Barbara has some more questions. Does he have, what's his major? What's he doing? Felicity's like, nope, doesn't have one yet. Yeah, I know he's a junior, but most people don't change, they change their majors or they switch or, don't always have it figured out. She's like, for instance, I'm in art, but I can still be pre-med. So like, again, okay, we're finding out she is both art and pre-med still. But I also thought that was kind of an interesting, like, is that hinting at like the tension with Ben or Noel, like, do you head or heart, like what she wants versus what her mother wants? I just thought that was interesting, where she's like, I'm like in art but also pre-med, like I can do pre-med and art, like I can have it all. I don't know, I just thought, I was wondering if that was a little parallel to the boys.
Interesting. I think it's also interesting that people that young are expected to know what they're gonna do with their lives. That's such bullshit.
100%.
Crazy.
Again, your brains aren't developed all the way at that time.
No.
Like, and you're making like your life choice, basically. Like, that's like getting married that young. Like, you're making like this really big, huge fucking decision and commitment that's really hard to backtrack on if you, depending on what kind of degree you get, to just like change your mind later. That might require a whole other degree or something.
Preaching to the choir,
It
man.
sucks, man. Yeah, I think that's a travesty. So I just wanted to put that there. Was like, this is a really sad situation, like just in general on a societal level. Like that's just a terrible, terrible expectation to put on
I say
a
that
young
all
person.
the time. And like for me, like I chose when I was in high school, like when a senior
I was
in
just
high
gonna
school.
say it's even earlier because
I went into it like, this is what I'm gonna do. I
Yeah.
didn't wait till college. I just
Well, because a lot of times
crazy.
you have to know what you want to do to even know where to
gear
go to
up.
school.
Yeah, exactly. Just
So it's
that
like
whole
if you want to be an
application
engineer,
process.
like, okay, well, I got to find a school that has a really great engineering school because that looks good on my resume or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's a lot because you're a teenager when that all begins. That's insane. That's so fucking nuts. And I see it a lot with my patients. They do have to pivot and change careers because they have to, like medically retire from one field and go into another. And I'm like, the next thing doesn't have to be the last thing. I always tell them that, like, just find a placeholder and like maybe the next thing doesn't check every single box, but it'll pay your bills and maybe you can supplement that with something else. Like, I think there's too much pressure to make a job like your whole existence, like all through life.
Yeah.
Like like for young people and for like grown ass adults, like it's really unhealthy, like really detrimental when things don't go well with it. So this is just like my PSA, like have hobbies, have a whole personality outside of your career, like have lots of things that you enjoy and go do them. Don't wait until you're retired, like do them now.
There's a book, I forgot I think it's called Burnout, but it's about like the millennial generation specifically, like why we became this anxious generation. And there was just a quote in there that like really, I just never thought of it that way, but I was like, oh wow, yeah. The author says that like millennials were raised like their parents weren't raising kids, they're raising resumes. And I was just like it's so true, because like even
I
now
just got chills.
Yeah, like younger than us, even like sports, you have to like know what your sport is by like age 5 to like get you into these elite teams. Like you can't just go and play soccer. It's like you have to like have an elite athlete kid from the age of like 5 or 6, and that's just crazy to me. Like you have to have your sport picked, otherwise middle school, forget it. High school, forget it. You're never gonna play. I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah, lots of pressures.
But yeah, it's all about extracurriculars and how many clubs and what do you want to do for college? Like, yeah, raising resumes and not kids. I loved the whole book, but that particularly stuck with me.
So back off, Barbara.
Yeah.
You're part of the
Stop
problem.
making us anxious. Don't pressure Ben. And who knows, Noel maybe has already had a career change because he decided I'm not a graphic designer and has had 2.com bursts and can't survive anymore.
And
you
two
know,
different names, like we're Noel, we're Leon, we're Noel.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
Buddy can't even decide on who he is.
I say this,
Period.
yeah, I have this in my notes later, but like Barbara's catching Noel at a really specific good moment
Yeah.
because 3 months ago he was Leon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Barbara
I
should
would
have
not
seen
have
him with
wanted
his
him.
frosted
Yeah.
Frosted
tips.
tips. Yeah, exactly.
And the
Come
wife
back and
beater
tell
with the
me.
hair and
Yeah.
oh man.
No, thank you. I
But
would definitely
Felicity-
be reminding her.
Yeah. Felicity does try and shut Barbara down. She's like, I think you're getting the wrong impression of him. Barbara says, well, then give me the right one. And she says she loves him. I'm like, okay, ish. That's kind of defended. It was just like, deal with it. I love him, which, yeah, that's fair too. But also like, you could be like, he is a really good person because of ABC. I don't know. She doesn't fight
Yeah.
a ton for him. Yeah.
Like she could have listed his resume.
Yeah.
Like, he
well,
does
he's a
have other good
swimmer.
qualities.
Yeah, like he's been on the swim team and then something unfortunately happened there because they shut down the team.
Right, yeah.
Like, yeah, he worked at the clinic with me for a little bit and then he coached or he wants to coach some basketball kids. Yeah. Our listener Jamie has mentioned this a few times. Like, what happened with that? Like, yeah, show more of Ben's growth in that respect. So we're not seeing it. Barbara's not seeing it, unfortunately. So then we go back to the loft, which now looks like a forest. It is filled with Christmas trees, and Felicity tells Ben that she feels bad for Barbara, that it's her first Christmas alone. She went back to using her maiden name, Ms. Hunter, again. She's like, God, that's my mom. You know, like, what is happening? Felicity now floats the idea of skipping the Florida trip with Ben and instead spending the holidays with her mother. And like, maybe this shouldn't be a surprise, but Ben takes it very well. He just says like, okay, you know, she's got to think it through. But here's where I wish we got more of Barbara's story, her own character, like what's happening there with the divorce. Is she already
Why did we
divorced? Are
feel
they
sorry for
separated?
her?
Oh,
Go ahead. No, because I'm like, she's the one who initiated, and it's like, I don't understand why Felicity's like, I need to take care of her kind of like mentality about it. Like, oh, like maybe I should be with her. Like, she's
no,
not her
she was
victim.
doing it her whole life, though.
No, I know, but like in this specific case, like it's a weird response because like her mom's not a victim. Her mom initiated it. Her already changing her name's kind of a sign that she's moving on. Like it's not her being like, you know, she's not crying in the corner, like,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
with
her mom
tissues,
did
like,
kind of guilt
surrounding
trip her a little bit. She was like, booked the thing already for her and her daughter to go to some spa thing over
That's
Christmas. She was like,
different
oh, well,
to the
I
guilt
thought
trip
that, you
thing.
know, we would be spending time together, but, you know, I guess not. And
But it feels like a mother-daughter angle versus like my mom's a, you know, divorced now. Oh,
Yeah.
like that didn't.
She didn't
I was
show up
like,
depressed and crying.
No, she
like-
did not. Exactly. I'm like, remember when your dad had like a pill problem because
Yeah.
he was depressed? Like
Yeah.
we were feeling
Maybe we
really
should
concerned
spend
about
Christmas with him.
him. Yeah, if you're gonna spend some time with somebody, maybe him. Like Barbara is Barbara Hunter, so she's doing just fine.
Yeah,
So
they should have
that
been
was a
like,
weird
Barbara,
angle.
you want to come to Florida with us and get trashed and like hang out, you know?
meet somebody, have a little spring fling dead of winter.
She would
Spring
be.
fling.
I think she would have liked that.
Maybe. I don't think she would have hated it.
I just say, I think that was response. I'm not saying it's right, but I just think like she was feeling guilted by Barbara. Barbara was like, oh, I thought we would spend time together and I booked this spa weekend for us at the hotel. And oh, okay. Like, I think she kind of started guilt tripping Felicity. She started to feel bad.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then that was her reaction, was like, oh, maybe I should, you know, she fell back into her, oh, I have to be the peacemaker. I have to make sure everyone's okay in the household.
Yeah. No,
and...
that tracks. You're right.
But yeah, I wish they talked more about
Yeah.
her and the father. Like, isn't it also Felicity's first Christmas with divorced parents? Like, talk about that a little bit. Help her. Like, isn't she feeling some type of way? Like, she
Or torn,
started
yeah,
to...
like should she go with dad or should she go with mom? Like that would have been an interesting conflict instead of what
like
was,
she clearly had a feeling about her mom taking her maiden name, and she's like, that's my mom. You know, like she seemed to be struggling with the idea of it.
Exactly.
So like, I
It's
wish that there was more around this divorce rather than just like focusing on Barbara's feelings about Ben. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, because there's plenty of meat there to work with. Yeah, plenty of content without that. But maybe that was more for that whole like head versus heart thing and just highlighting because there's some other little weird things later. So keep going. Let's go.
Keep it moving. So then back at Felicity's apartment, Noel is showing Barbara some of Lose Her Pet Store. She loves it. She loves Noel. Felicity comes in. She totally forgot that she was supposed to work on Lose Her Pet Store with Noel. He's like, don't worry about it. You're busy. Go have fun. But Barbara invites Noel to dinner with her, Felicity, and Ben that night. Her preference for Noel over Ben is not subtle. And yes, again, here in my notes, it was like 3 months ago, he was Leon. So Barbara's catching him at a good time. I don't think she would be inviting Leon to dinner or comparing Noel to Ben if it were 3 months ago. So it's like she's getting, one
It's
tiny
just this
little
little
moment
snapshot.
in time.
Yeah.
Of both of their lives, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, yeah, that applies to Ben too. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, people have their ups and downs, and she's just coming in at the timing's just not great.
Mm-hmm. So then Meghan is with Sean and finds out that he has this Christmas tree lot idea. And she points out to him that she suggested this idea months ago, which he dismissed. And Sean insists it was his idea. She's like, I can't believe you. No, like, I want to cut all the profits. He's like, what? No, it's my idea. She's like, well, then enjoy the holidays as a single man. And this is just like happened so many times in history, too many times to count. Relatable for many women, I'm sure. Men stealing their ideas and work. Pretty crappy of Sean. I also didn't like that he said, well, all the money's going to be spent on you anyway, so what does it matter?
Let me spend my own money on myself the way I want to
Yeah, it's like,
spend
well,
it.
first of all, like, I'm not asking you to do that. Second of all, like, you don't have a job, so I'm pretty sure you're not only spending the money on your girlfriend. Like, you don't even have a job. Like, you need to pay rent and buy things.
Especially the next line when she's got to pay the bill. It's like, no, you can't afford to pay shit. You can't even afford to pay for this meal. What are you talking? It's going to be spent all on you. Get out of here.
And that, like, she only wants things for herself and, like, oh, buy me things. It was just, like, felt very materialistic, too. Exactly. Her parents are rich.
Doesn't.
Like, that's not the point of it.
Not the point.
Yeah, it's her idea, and you stole it.
Yeah.
Well, then, Ben is walking Molly home after an Al-Anon meeting, but James is outside waiting for her. So he approaches both of them. Molly's continuing to refuse to see him, but James keeps saying, like, you called me. You know you want to see me. But Ben's like, hey, just, like, leave her alone. Go inside. James says, don't get in the middle. This has nothing to do with you. Tries to intimidate Ben, but it doesn't land. Ben doesn't get aggressive, but he does stand there very just solid. So he's come a long way from punching Randy, and maybe has learned there's a different kind of strength that is the opposite of violence. So James does leave, but we can see that the interactions between James and Molly are escalating. Each one is escalating. Thoughts on Ben's response here?
I would say Al-Anon's helping him. I think he is learning a lot. Because the whole point of that was to deal with his stuff with his dad. So clearly something shifted for him. Even if we are not seeing all the mechanics of that, like the details of that, it's something's shifting inside him internally, and externally he's not punching people out right away.
So Ben arrives at dinner with Felicity, her mom, and Noel. He's late, but mentions that he walked Molly home and ran into James. Noel isn't helping the situation, brings up James's gun, like, oh, at least he's not armed this time. Barbara is horrified, learning about, someone, a crackhead with a gun is coming in and out of Felicity's apartment. So she excuses herself and leaves the table. However, I also feel like you can be afraid for your daughter, but I feel like she's unfairly placing the blame on Ben.
Very
like, this is
misplaced.
Felicity's roommate. He's walking Felicity. It's not like, oh, sorry, I was with my friend Sean. He's drug dealing. I walked him home and, like, he had a gun. Like, this is Felicity's roommate. It's not Ben's fault that Felicity is rooming with this girl. So, like, her roommate's boyfriend is the problem. I don't get why it's like, oh, well, Ben hangs out with drug dealers and crackheads. It's like, well, no, it's Felicity's roommate. I don't know what to do about that. Like, it's not Ben's friend. Like, he happens to be helping her, but they're not, like, friends. He didn't introduce her to the group. So in the bathroom, Felicity follows her. Barbara tells Felicity that she's worried about all the chaos that's surrounding her life, the weapons, the drugs, and this guy at the center of it who doesn't have any direction. She says she dated someone like that, Paul Conrad, and it didn't work out. I would just like to say there is a weatherman in Chicago named Paul Conrad.
Oh.
He's been there like WGN long time. And I remember like in middle school at the same time, like he was obviously very old now. Then he's obviously much older than I was, but I like had the biggest crush on him. I have a thing for different journalists. I have a whole list of ones that I'm in love with.
I'm gonna go look him up.
So I loved Paul Conrad. And so when she said that she dated Paul Conrad, I was just like beside myself. Middle school me loved it. But you can't go by what he looks like now, because he looks like he could be our dad.
He's handsome.
I mean, yeah, he's what, 50s, 60s now, so he's quite a bit older than us.
Looking at the old, the older ones.
Back in the year 2000, he was a cutie.
Totally.
Yeah. So I was just like, does someone know that Paul Conrad? Is there a different Paul Conrad? Because, you know, they do the like John Eisendrath and Chad Savage. Like they put all the names in the show of people they know. So I wonder if there's another Paul Conrad out there.
Perhaps.
It delighted me again hearing the name. So I forgot that happened.
That's cute.
Yeah. So yeah, things with Paul Conrad did not work out. He was a bad boy too. So Felicity's like, well, if you don't want me to date Ben, who do you want me to date? Which, what a question. Felicity asks her mom, and Felicity's mom says she thinks Noel is still in love with Felicity. It's so obvious that the parrot is in love with the turtle in Loser Pet Store, and Noel is obviously the turtle, and Felicity is the parrot. So Felicity tells her she is wrong. She's going back to the table with her boyfriend Ben and her friend Noel. So this is the only situation where, for me, I'm like, and she also like mentions that like Ben's just a college kid. He's not a cop. He's not a therapist. Like he can't handle all this craziness. Like finally, I feel like someone's saying the thing that has been driving me crazy. But again, it's like it's not Ben's fault that these people are in Felicity's lives. So I can understand Barbara being worried about her daughter. But also, she didn't call the cop. Like, she didn't do anything
while she was there, too.
Yeah, like,
exactly.
when she walked in and heard about crackheads and drug dealers, she didn't do anything. Now she's hearing about a gun, like, again, didn't do anything. So I'm like,
yeah, she's talking about spas and bullshit. Like,
yeah, I'm like,
she's more concerned about that than
going on.
Yeah. And, like, Felicity's dating life, like, you've got bigger fish to fry, ma'am.
Yeah.
As a parent, she should have immediately called the university.
Yeah,
like maybe they are too incapable of thinking of that, but as an adult and a parent of the kid who's in these experiences with someone with a gun, you better be calling immediately and complaining and being like calling the dean. I don't know. That's not safe.
Yeah.
Front desk, at least, in the apartment building. Like something.
If there is even, we don't know because we've never seen it.
Yeah, I guess.
And I don't know how much recourse the university has, because it's not like he's a student, then they can, like, question him or something. Like, right? Isn't he just, like, a rando?
Right, but Molly is a student and living there, and if she needs help, I would hope that if someone raised their hand and said, I need help, I live here and I need help, like, I would hope that they would help. Maybe they wouldn't.
Hope
and
that,
that's
but
the
I don't
problem.
have a lot of faith.
No, I know.
That's even
Just
real.
like the cops, I don't think would do anything either. But
like, maybe more security presence for a while, but, like, for how long, you know? Like, you know, it's like they could say like, oh, like we'll have like extra security around for like the next few days. It's like, well, what happens after that? Or if it was like a few weeks, like what happens after that? Like they can't do that forever necessarily. So yeah.
Or can they direct her to shelters to, okay, maybe we need to get a restraining order. Again, what does that do? It's a piece of paper, but I don't know. Yeah. She's the grown up though. She can help in some way.
Exactly. If she doesn't like this, then maybe, I don't know, model the appropriate behaviors instead of complaining that these kids are fucking up.
Yeah. So yeah, I can understand her being worried about her daughter, but I think her approach is all wrong here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like follow that up with action.
So after the dinner, Ben complains to Felicity about Barbara picking on him. And Felicity starts defending her mom. She wants Ben to give her mom a break. She just got divorced. Ben's like, yeah, but she was being obnoxious. But Felicity pushes. Is Ben more annoyed at Barbara for saying he has no plans, or is he more mad at himself for not having plans?
Burn.
Ouch. That was pretty harsh.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Ben is getting like the most character development of the whole season. I think Barbara's concerns and this little like his own insecurities around not having a plan set up the arc for the rest of the season for him really nicely. Like I think that is well done. I never really thought about, like I was trying to think, I'm like, well, what's the point of this whole thing of her coming here to do this? I'm like, well, it does kind of send,
They had
you know,
to
set
like
up
start a
set
catalyst
up for
somehow.
yes, for next half of the season of like, yeah, is Ben going to figure out what he wants to do? Again, we shouldn't put the pressure on them, but that's what we've done in this society, and especially in the year 2000. And like, yeah, the drugs and the guns are very dramatic, but you know, they're showing Ben's growth with his managing his anger and dealing with, you know, his trauma. So like, yeah, it's very harsh to Felicity, but I do think it points out maybe he does have some of his own insecurities around that, and like comparing himself to people like Noel, which he mentions later. So there is a piece of that, like Barbara's being annoying, but I also think there's a piece of this that does set up the rest of the season nicely. But I'm open to other explanations.
I think the way she said it was just not really kind, but like
That's
she could have
for
said
sure.
it well. Like it is true, he's like a junior and he doesn't know what he's doing. That's a little.
It's a like yikes. Yeah.
Like she could have talked, like questioned him about it in a better way.
Yeah. And again, I don't know why she's defending like her mom by like, oh, she's going through a divorce. So the fuck what?
She keeps making excuses, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I was disappointed. Or I'm like, why are you defending your mom? Like she was being a jerk. Like not even, I mean, he didn't even say the words I would have said. He said obnoxious, and that was a kind, generous description.
You're like, the word I had in mind started with a C.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if she just gets back into that like 17-year-old Felicity mode when she's around her parents. Because like, yeah, you would think she would just be more mad at her mom or upset that her mom isn't seeing her boyfriend.
Like, don't be talking about my man like that.
Yeah. Rather than like, oh, well, she's getting divorced, so she's allowed to be a bitch. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, it would have been different if if the conflict was more layered between her and her mom instead of like, now she's arguing with her mom and she's arguing with Ben. Like, why? Like, what does that character-wise, you know, like how does that serve Felicity? But again, it's like, is it because these little hints we're getting with these little pets and stuff, the little losers, lizard pets and bullshit? I don't know. They just, that doesn't make any sense either.
What?
This like little reemergence of a, you know, trying to have a love triangle situation again, like again at this point, like, are you guys going to be like in a senior living community and still be going through this shit? Like, how long is this going to go?
Melrose Place, the senior years.
Yeah.
The golden years.
Seriously.
God.
Yeah. And also it's just we could talk about at the end of the episode, but it's just very clear Felicity does not feel the same way about Noel. Like she's all in on Ben. So I'm like, what are we doing this for again? Like Felicity's not really conflicted. It's not like
I don't know that all the way. Because
really?
No, I mean, like, I think she's like maybe like 98/2%, you know, like 98% Ben and 2% Noel or something, like, because she acts a little bit goofy about some stuff. Like, why did she leave the opening like, well, who do you want me to date? Like, you know, she's gonna say fucking Noel. Like, why did you ask that question?
I mean, it was I wouldn't even ask because it's not really up to your it's not
who you think I should
it's not
date.
Up to your, who you date anyway.
Yeah, I don't care who you think.
Like,
so
no
I'm
one
not gonna
wants
ask
their
you that
parents
question.
to set them up.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Well, James calls Molly again and tries to get Molly to admit that she still loves him. He tells her, don't hang up on me. I'm warning you. She says, don't threaten me. Now she gets even more forceful in her voice. She's like, I'm telling you for the last time, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to see you again. She does hang up on him. So again, the calls are now escalating. The show introduced a gun and has been very patient about the whole thing. I think, yeah, she got more forceful in her response, but now he is basically verbally, like, we haven't really heard the verbal threat yet. Now we hear it. He's like, I'm warning you. So that kind of ups the stakes again, doesn't it?
That's icky.
That's not good. So then at Epstein, Sean gives Meghan an early Christmas present. It's a leather whip. Just almost got her leather underwear, leather panties. But she's like, oh, those don't breathe. She like snaps the whip. I love her. So she says, don't make fun of me, but have you been to Radio City at Christmas time? He's like, oh no, you know what? I'd love to. I can't tonight. I'm selling the trees. So she's now reminded that she's not getting a cut of the profits from her tree idea. He refuses to. So she's like, you know what? You leave. I don't want to see you. So she gets him out of there and calls the fire department. They're like, no,
Wow,
there's no fire.
spectacular.
There's a fire hazard I want to report. I mean,
So
just
she's not wrong.
quick brain. It was brilliant.
I loved it. It's exactly what I would have done.
It does remind me. I feel like I keep going back to the fire, but it reminds me of season 1, Noel and Felicity. Give me an O of the fire, the Christmas
It's
tree
true.
burning
It
up.
is a fire
We don't get a
hazard.
fire this time, but there's plenty of chaos. But I always think back to the Christmas tree and the fire. So I don't know if it was an intentional callback, but I liked it. So then Tracy and Elena go visit Tracy's pastor, Kathy. Kathy says, we all sin, blah, blah, blah. Elena's like, look, all due respect, but I don't think premarital sex is a sin. And Pastor Kathy says premarital sex is lust, not love. And again, Elena just very gracefully says, no disrespect, but the Bible can't tell you what's in my heart. And I was like, yes,
Yeah.
but go Elena, standing up for herself. But the pastor essentially says that they're at a crossroads and what they need to do is figure out what do they each want separately and together. So it gives them something to think about. Then we go back to the loft and the fire marshal is there. The trees are a hazard. They got to go. So now they can move them to Sean's cousin's lot, but they're going to need Ben's help again. Ben's like, no, I can't. I'm out. But Sean, again, holds a bunch of stuff over his head, says, you're always late on rent. I always absorb it as the landlord. You owe me. And so Ben caves. Just twists his arm again, which, don't let me be late on rent if you don't want to absorb it. I don't like this whole, I do stuff for you, so you have to do it for me. Like, you either do it because you want to or not. But Felicity walks in and asks if Ben's okay. He says, no, I'm not. I got all these trees in my apartment, the stuff with your mom. So Felicity asks if he's not coming to the party now. He's like, don't make me feel guilty about that, about not coming. She's like, no, I really wanted you to be there. But Ben shares with her that he felt like you not having plans comment sounded a lot like judgment. She's like, no, I didn't mean it that way. He's like, look, I know you. Like, I think you were disappointed when I couldn't answer any of Barbara's questions. She says she wasn't, but Ben says, then don't defend her when we get home and be fighting about it. So he then suggests Felicity spend Christmas with her mom instead of going to Florida with him. Bom, bom, bom. Which reminds me a little bit of the end of season 2. They eventually have sex, but, they're fighting about like, oh, well, you just, you wanted to slow things down. Like, they get mad. They're like, oh, slow things down, not go on this trip, not move it, I don't know. Just, I feel like they do this a lot. It's like, oh, well, then let's freeze things. Let's pause. Let's not do this. So maybe some flighting, right?
It was at least more gentle, though. It wasn't, like, vindictive-ish or, like a defensive kind of thing. Like, well, you know what? Why don't you just blah, blah, blah. It wasn't, like, that kind of energy. So it was at least some growth in that aspect. It was just, like, I think it was, like, a peaceful resignation. Like, I'm losing here, so I'm just gonna gracefully bow out type of thing, which is still a form of flight, I think. Yeah. It's just because it's the same insecurity he's had since season 1, like just not feeling like he's enough for her. And this is just really piling on because she is kind of joining Barbara in that. And this is the whole reason why he's flighted in the past. Like, he doesn't think he's good enough for her.
Mm-hmm.
And he's being at least, like, it feels more mature, but it's still him flighting.
Sure. Yeah. But also she suggested, like, he didn't come up with this idea on his own. Like, she was the one that's like, maybe I do this. So he's like, you know what? Go do that then.
Yeah, exactly. He just affirmed it. So yeah, you're right. It was even her. She was flighting. You're right. Dang.
But yeah, I think he's overwhelmed too in this moment. Like, he's like, I got these trees. I got your mom. Like, all this stuff. You know what? Like, I'm out. Yeah. So it was flighting, but it's not like they were breaking up. It was just more like, you know what? Fine. Take the time. Go be with your mom. Do whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Then Tracy stops by Elena's. He tells her that he believed the Bible for 20 years, never doubted it. You wait for marriage to have sex. But then Elena came along, and he says that he knows that she says she's okay with who he is in that respect, but she really isn't. So he says he's not finding the answers. He's not looking in the right place, so he has to get out of his own head. So Elena says, so you're going She's like, yep. So he's going to Africa to go think and find some answers, I guess. Was this always going to happen?
I don't know, man.
Were they doomed from the start?
Yes.
Like, is there, I mean, I feel like it's the values thing. Like, it's just too big. Like, you can't ask someone else to compromise in these, like, I don't know.
Does have to be a all or nothing on this one.
Right?
Yeah, it's like you can't.
Like, it wouldn't be fair for
Be
either of
halfway.
them to,
No.
Yeah.
So
think
it's
it's very-
sad.
It's delusional to think that they could,
Yeah.
I will say, Donna Martin got through a lot of her years without. She was all about the I'm not gonna have sex before marriage. She got through a long time without it, and yeah, did she get cheated on? Yeah, but she had boyfriends. She had multiple. She dated different people, so she was doing fine for herself that whole time, and it was not like this big of a conflict. Like, so that's kind of interesting because that show's so much older.
Yeah.
She got by just fine. She never had to kind of push against that and be like arguing with people about it. She's just like, yeah, this isn't happening. And they're like, okay. It wasn't a thing.
What do you think that says?
Don't know. It's probably some sort of prep, but I'm not sure what kind yet. Very
Or is it
suspicious all of
different
a
with the
sudden.
gender? Because I mean, I even said like it's unique to have a male character that is waiting. Like I feel like we see more of the Donnas in TV and movies. I feel like you don't often see male characters. So I wonder if that's why it's represented in a different way. I don't know.
Perhaps.
It's sad because I like them so much together.
Yeah.
They're so supportive and both brilliant and going places. Was Donna maybe like, I don't know why that was her belief. Like, was it also a religious thing? Like,
Yeah.
was she only dating people from her church that had the same view or no?
No,
Oh, okay.
She dated anybody. Yeah.
Well, good for Donna.
Yep.
Did she make it all the way to the aisle?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, but it was I believe
No.
no. I did think that for a long time.
Oh.
What had happened was I think it was like when they graduated college. So she got through like all of high school and all of college, and then it was with David who she does end up marrying.
She
So
does.
so it's like it's fine. It's like it wasn't
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like willy-nilly, like it wasn't random. It was like very thoughtful, very, beautiful, blah blah blah.
Okay.
And then they got married, so it's fine.
Well, it's not fine because according to her religion, she had to be married. So she's still
You know
broke that.
what?
Sorry. It's not fine.
No,
Fuck.
that's
It's not
'cause-
fine with God. I'm sorry.
Nah, it was because her mom's an asshole. So, and then she realized her
Aw.
mom was an asshole, and then things kind of opened up from there.
Okay. So then we go to Dean and DeLuca, where Ben has asked Barbara to meet him. They sit down together for coffee. He's like, look, I don't do small talk. Let me just get to the point, which I loved. He acknowledges, he's like, I know, I can understand why you're worried. But, at first it bothered him because it felt like a snap judgment that she was making about him. And he usually wants people to get a real good look before deciding something about him. So he's like, but then, I got to look at this from her perspective. I don't have a major. I've got this alcoholic father. He's like, I can understand why you'd rather see Felicity with someone like Noel, who's got it all figured out, who will no doubt make it in life. He says, but one of his teachers once said that the most interesting people she knew didn't know what they wanted at 20. So if nothing else, Ben will probably end up being really interesting. Then he says, for some reason, Felicity cares about me. And because of that, he thinks he might someday become the person she believes he can be. And that's why she means the world to him.
Oh, Ben.
That whole scene,
Oh.
I was just like, that made me feel like season 1, season 2 Felicity again. Like just a really nice, heartfelt, emotional conversation.
Yeah.
And the saying from his teachers, the most interesting people she knew didn't know what they wanted at 20. If nothing else, I'll be really interesting. That is my angsty away message for the week. Again, it's not angsty, but like it's just heartfelt, emotional.
Yeah.
That was like the little blip of Sally, Dr. Pavone. There's some unknown teacher we got advice from. So I felt like this episode, there were hints of seasons 1 and 2 that were coming out, and I really liked that.
Yeah,
So
that
was
was
that
really
how
nice.
to spend moment?
Absolutely. So wise, so sweet.
And of course, Barbara's charmed by him and everything he said.
Good. She should be.
So Barbara goes to Felicity's to tell her that she has made other holiday plans. She's going to go to Santa Fe with one of her friends. So Felicity should go to Florida with Ben. And Felicity's not sure, though, if she's going to Florida because her and Ben are in a fight. But Barbara's like, I'm sure you'll work it out because, yeah, he just said that, he's madly in love with her and she means the world to him. She's got the inside intel. So she does admit that comparing Ben to Paul Conrad wasn't fair. She had some unrealistic expectations of that relationship, and she does take some responsibility for it not working. He's like, well, you gave your heart to someone. They should be more careful with it. And she says, no, I think I should have just been more careful about who I give my heart to. And I'm like, damn, we're getting some more nice advice here. No?
No, I was just like,
Oh, like, okay.
Good.
It was
I'm
a
glad
good
she got her shit
head shake.
together.
So yeah, then Barbara admires Felicity. She's like, oh, do you remember that first week when we came to visit you in New York? You looked so scared. She's like, but look at you now. So she admires how confident Felicity has become since arriving in New York. She's got a great boyfriend, dealing with crackheads in her apartment with ease, doing a wonderful digital flash animation. I mean, she's not even a senior yet, and she's going to have like a awesome web series that's successful. So I think Felicity's doing just fine. I'm feeling protective of Felicity. So then Felicity goes to the Christmas tree lot to find Ben, but unfortunately he went to get some coffee, but Sean thanks Felicity for letting Ben miss the party so that he could help with the trees. Felicity's like, yeah, that's okay. How are things going? But Sean admits that the prices were too high. They are not making any money. So Felicity goes to leave, but watches as a young boy and a dad can't afford the beautiful, lush Christmas tree that they want. So Sean ends up just giving it away to them for free and then starts giving all of the trees away. Merry Christmas! Making everybody happy. He's the Christmas tree Santa. So that was our little Christmassy spirit storyline.
You gotta have something.
A little, heartwarming Christmas spirit, even though he's Jewish, but whatever. So Felicity heads home to get to the Christmas party and sees Meghan and tells her to go cheer Sean up because things are not going well with the Christmas tree. So Meghan goes to rub it in Sean's face that he's failing. But the apartment is full. It's festive. There's tons of people there already. Felicity sees Noel, goes up to him. She's in her sparkly little backless tank top thing, and Noel is admiring that. They both are all dressed up, cocktail attire. We see Elena and Tracy meeting up. They're dancing together, and this too reminds me of the season 2 finale when Felicity is like, yeah, I'm going to take the internship, and Ben's going to leave. He's like, well, we better start dancing then. And so they're just they know they're going to go their separate ways and they're just going to start dancing. Elena and Tracy were then dancing and they're just like, well, it is what it is. Let's get dancing.
Good one, girl.
There are a lot of little pieces where I'm like, this feels a little, more like season 1 and 2. I didn't mind this episode, even though Barbara's, annoying. But again, conflict drama, we need it. So then Meghan does go to the Christmas tree lot, finds Sean and Richard giving away the last of the trees. And of course, she's so overcome with his generosity and good spirit that she makes up with him and wants him to come to the party with her. So then back at the party, Felicity and Noel are still chatting. And she asks Noel finally, are you the turtle? And he admits that he is. And then he offers up, he's like, and the parrot is obviously Ruby. Guess I'm just not over her. Felicity's like, oh yeah, Ruby. Of course, yeah, the parrot's Ruby. Yeah, for sure. So she pretends to believe Noel, but then is like, drink. You want another drink? I'm gonna go get another drink. So she goes to leave and gets a drink. Awkward. And this is where I was like, I don't think Felicity has any interest in Noel, because she was just like, the parrot, like, oh God, I hope it's not me. And I feel like that's why he in a second shifted and I'm going to say it's Ruby. Maybe he was going to tell her oh, and the parrot. And then just in that fraction, it was she kind of looked like, oh God, please don't say it's me. And he's like, Ruby. I feel like in that 1 second with the acting, it just made me feel like he could tell Felicity's not into it.
I thought she was disappointed when he said it was Ruby.
Oh, I didn't take it that way at all.
I mean, I took it with there was a little disappointment.
Yeah,
not
that
that
she
she
dropped.
Not that she was into him, but I think she thought he might be honest and
honesty,
talk about it. And
okay,
yeah,
sure.
I felt like it was a teeny bit disappointed that it wasn't her, but mostly disappointed that he didn't just be truthful. He wasn't just truthful. But she was not. It was not in an air of relief. It was not blatant. It was yeah,
No,
like
I don't
on the
think it was.
positive. Yeah.
I don't think there was relief. It was like, oh yeah, now this is awkward because I have to pretend. Oh yeah, it's Ruby, and we know it's not Ruby. Because then when Ben comes in, she hugs him so for, and like Noel sees her hugging
Yeah.
Ben, like she's all in. Like I got the feeling from the way things, the facial expressions, the exchanges, it was like Noel can tell she's not into him, and that's why he like in a split second it was like, okay, never, okay, it's Ruby, yeah, haha. And he
No.
knows he doesn't have a chance with her because she's with Ben, is all in on Ben.
Okay.
You don't think she's all in? Interesting. Okay.
I don't think that she's not all in, but I don't know how to describe it. It was just something like there was like a little bit of something that was off, and it didn't feel like it didn't feel good. It didn't feel right. Something felt wrong.
I got that too.
I get the explanation about.
I remember thinking in that moment, like, oh God, not
Like,
again.
why are you jealous?
Yeah. Yes. That is the
It
feeling
felt
I had.
jealousy.
Yes.
Yes. Because
I was
she's
like,
weird.
no, she
we've
is
seen this
not.
before. Like the like, oh right, yeah, no, yeah, totally. Like that. We've seen those moments happen before, those exchanges, and it was rooted in disappointment or jealousy or like being let down in some way.
See,
like, it's just
I buy that
covering.
it's like, oh, she thought he was going to be honest, but then and so now she has to be awkward and be like, oh yeah, it's Ruby, totally. Okay, I'm going to go over there because this is awkward now. I didn't see it as like, oh, I wish it were me.
I think awkward would have felt lighter. This felt heavier than awkward.
Go watch it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll
To me, it was the awkwardness of both people knowing that they're lying. Like, he's lying. He knows she knows that he's lying. And that's why it's more awkward and intense. Not like oh, I wish he had a crush on me. I don't know. Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't go that far to be like, oh, I wish it was me. It's just like that
not
little
that.
sliver of jealous, like that little
Not that.
tiny, like
Not that.
like
Like, oh yeah,
like
Ruby
a
exists,
wounded
right.
ego type of thing, like just like a little,
okay.
like something of that variety. It wasn't like, oh, I'm disappointed. Like this I was gonna leave Ben because I thought everything was falling apart. It wasn't like that, but like. But she does shit like that where when things going a little bit sideways, she does look to the other to kind of like
Overcorrect.
lift her up.
Yeah.
And overcorrect kind of thing. And I think this was just like, well, god damn, neither one of them's trying to fuck with me right now. Shit, fuck. Oh, I'm really fucked up now.
Where's Eli? Where's Eli when you need him? Well, Ben finally arrives from the trees. He and Felicity make up immediately. Like, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. And this is, where I think then Noel watches Felicity and Ben hugging and she looks all in on him. And so then he's like, oh, Molly, you want to dance? Because I think, to me, it was like he knew within that 3 minutes or whatever of the conversation, and then them hugging is like, oh yeah, I don't have a chance here. This is unrequited. But yeah, I can be wrong.
I mean, they've been dating this whole time. How did he, like, why did that hug and not all the million hugs that came before not tell him that? Like, why did this happen at all? He's such a dork. It's so dumb.
Well, and again, the plot with Loser Pet Store, they're putting them like so close together in a situation. It's like work relationship.
It's right there.
Yeah.
So
long
close,
nights,
but so far away.
working on a project together.
That'll get you.
So it's a crush of proximity is what it is. Maybe. Or he's just a loser that is, never going to get over her. So then Sean and Richard arrive with one last Christmas tree to really get this party hopping. But nobody notices that James slips into the apartment behind them. Looking real
his
evil.
Mysterious beanie.
Oh,
He's blending into the crowd.
Yeah. Burglary outfit, hamburglar. But everyone is dancing and having a blast. They're all on good terms again, finally. And then we see James pull out the gun, takes aim, cut to black as the gun fire. And then 4 months you had to wait to see who got shot, if anyone. Do you remember back to 2000 or Dr. Joe, whatever year it was when you first saw this, did you have any inkling who you think it could have been? Did you have like, oh my God, what if it's Felicity? What if it's Ben? What if it's Molly? Did we care? Did we have any ideas? I don't think I remember knowing or like having any kind of hunch.
I think I probably thought it was Ben just because of like how James was so angry at Ben for, keeping Molly away from him.
Yeah.
Or or like a world where like maybe he's aiming at Molly, but Ben jumps in front of it or something,
Yeah.
Save a hoe.
Yeah. Or I could see maybe Noel or something because he was dancing with her. And Like,
Good point.
but
That's true.
I think realistically there would have been multiple shots, to be honest.
Hmm.
Like multiple.
You mean in real life that's what would have
Yeah.
happened? Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Well, it's no Thanksgiving episode. This is a good example of Chekhov's gun, which is the dramatic principle that if you introduce a gun in Act 1, it had better go off by Act 3. So the show has been very patient about James's gun for like 5 episodes that we learned about it until now. Does the payoff feel earned here with the gun? I think it all makes sense.
Yeah.
And especially within this one episode, like they kept escalating the calls and him meeting
Yeah.
up and like stalking her. So I
Yeah.
think that made sense too.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's a good illustration that this all happened after she broke up with him,
Mhm.
not
Yeah.
while they were together. So that's just a good reminder to people. It's like they are in the most danger after they leave the
Mhm.
relationship. So that's why it's not advised to just tell people, just leave, just leave.
Mhm.
You got to have a lot of safety planning in place so they can leave safely and successfully.
Yes. Well, you will not have to wait 4 months for us to come back. We will be back on our normal schedule for the next episode. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Is that how we'll sign out this week? Perfect. Even though it's August.
Like, it's still Leo season. Don't cut us
It
short.
is. Happy birthday to all, and to all a
Oh.
good night. Leos.
Bye.
Felicity Was Here is produced, written, and edited by Heather, Melissa, and Dr. Joe. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Felicity Was Here Pod. If you're enjoying the pod, please leave us a review and help us spread the word. We appreciate you and would love to hear from Felicity superfans like us. So send us your feedback, ask us your burning questions, or just say hey at felicitywasherepod@gmail.com. We may even read your note in a future episode.